Hi, this is a short video looking at how we install the Microblog Client MbClient. And I'm going to run through this quite quickly, but what I will do is I'll cover both the installation of the software and a couple of configuration changes we need to make to JS8 call. So let's start with the JS8 call changes. Okay, let's find JS8 call. There we go. And we start that. And there are just a couple of quick changes we need to make. So file settings, in general, we need to add a group, which is @mb, which will catch microblog server announcements. And then we need to go to reporting, and under this section API, we need to enable TCP server API and accept TCP requests. And that's it. Those changes alone will not make any difference to your use of JS8 call. You'll still be able to use it in the normal way. It's just you need those things set just so that we can use the API and so that we get the those announcements. Okay, now what we do is go to GitHub. I'm doing this in a private window because it keeps picking up my my login into GitHub, and I want to do it in exactly the way that you would see it. So GitHub, and what we can do is if we add on the end of that Paul Offord, so it's capital P for Paul, capital O for Offord, hit return, that brings us in here, and it's MbClient that we're interested in, so this area here. Let's make that a bit bigger. Okay. Then we need the code button just here. Click on the code button and choose download zip. And you can see we've downloaded a copy there. Okay, go to the downloads, and here's our zip file. Double click on that, and we're going to copy. So I'm just using, well, just use right click if you like. Copy this, and then I need somewhere to put my application. Now what I've done is I've created my apps directory in my user home directory. So we'll go to my home directory, and you can see I've got this one called my apps. So go into that and then just simply paste the file in there. So we now have MbClient installed. You don't have to do anything more than that. Of course, we're going to have to run it, so I'll show you how to run it in a second. There are some configuration parameters that you can fiddle with, but I wouldn't, if I was you, I'd just leave it all as it is, unless you really are keen to experiment. Now, if you want full installation instructions at this point, what you can do is if you double click on this and go into Docs, you can see here there is a user guide. So let's double click on that and go to installing and running MbClient. Okay, so it talks about some prerequisites. Obviously you need a transceiver if you're going to use this over the air. You need a Windows 10 or 11 machine, should work on Mac OS, should work on Linux. You'll need JS8 call 2.2, and you'll need Python. Now what we can do is we can check to see if we've got Python by opening a command prompt in Linux, or, well, in Linux it would be a terminal session, and what we can do is we can type in Python -V, and we can see that we don't have Python on this machine. Now if I just type in Python, what it actually does on Windows 11 is it takes us directly to the Microsoft Store, and we can install the software from there. If I can't remember if it does that on Windows 10, because I've got rid of all my Windows 10 machines, but if it doesn't, I think you can still get a copy from Microsoft Store. You just navigate to the correct place in the store and then install the software. So that's the way I recommend doing it. So let's just let that load. Okay, that's now installed. So let's close that window. Let's come back into here and try Python -v again. And you can see we've now got Python 3.13. You need Python 3.6 or later to run the MbClient code. Okay, so let's get a command box. Whoops. And that opens in my home directory. So if I change it to My Apps, and then I change into the MbClient main directory, and if we look in there, you'll see that there is an MbClient bat file. So what you can do is you reference it to the current directory, /MbClient bat start, and that's it. You're now up and running. So what we can do is let's just look at an initial talk to a server. This entry here is just pre-configured so that it comes up with something when you start it. EA7QTH is I really hope it is a fictional call sign. As far as I can tell, I've looked on the QRZ and what have you, and I can't find it anywhere, so I think it's a fictional call sign. So we're just using that just for demonstration purposes here. But let me get started on just showing you how this works. Now I'm going to go into JS8 call. Now the first thing you're going to need to do is discover some servers. You can do that with a scan. So if we just click scan here, and that will send out a request. As you can see, it goes to the group address MB, and it's just the letter Q, and that's simply sending out a request for servers to announce themselves. So let's see what happens with that. Actually, we can watch the waterfall in JS8 call. Okay, and you can see we've got something coming back here. I wanted to show you that as the packet arrives, as each frame arrives, you'll see the receive light flash. So let's wait for the complete transmission. Okay, so there you can see that it's found a server called M0PXO, which is actually my call sign. It's got 65 posts. The last post was made on the 27th of the 1st, and the last time we saw it was actually just now, 1642 being the current time. Okay, so if we right click on that and we list the latest, what I want to do now is go off and get the actual, you can see the transmit lights flashing. It's going to go off and get some listings from the server, so it'll get individual entries and include them in this listing window. Now I want to let this complete because I want to show you something that could be confusing. So we'll wait until this completes and I'll speed up the video. Now I'll continue to let that complete, but you can see that although we seem to be getting multiple messages, because you can see a gap, we're not actually seeing anything in this listing window. And it's the simple reason that we don't have the correct blog selected. So if we just left click on the blog, you can now see that we've got the listing for the first post has come back. And if we let this go on a bit longer, it will show the second post. Okay, so it'll keep getting them. It gets 5 posts, 5 listings. So I think that's enough for the moment because I didn't want to go into giving you a user guide here. I just wanted to show you how you install it and get it running, and then just test it and make sure it's actually running. Okay, hope you found that useful, and I'll catch you on the next one.